So I'm upset visibly, and I'm like, can I call my mom? I said, I want to see my lawyer. I want to talk to my grandma. All those things. I said, what am I being arrested for? The deputy chief, Warren Lutona, says, we got you on video pushing one of our cops at last week's altercation. I said, video? I said, me pushing a cop? I said, no. And then they're just like throwing me up against the van, roughing me up. I'm handcuffed. One guy's sliding his arm in between my wrist. And every time he moves his hand or shoulder a bit, I'm in a lot of pain, and you can hear it. I sent Kevin a video of this arrest, and it's so traumatic and disturbing. I have had nightmares about it. I can't even watch it anymore.
Wow.
But treated me like a criminal, and as I'm looking, they're all laughing. They're laughing at me, like literally, like you even hear me say to one of them, "You think this is funny?" And they wanted to humiliate me. So I was very visibly upset, and then I am, take off your shoes, take this off, take that off, and I'm asking like, what did I do? Well, you'll get that in court and all this and all that. So they arrest me, humiliate me, make me take off my shoes and everything, put me on the paddy wagon, drive me 16 miles to Land O'Lakes jail, where I'm further humiliated, have to strip, have to do all these things, undignified, and I had to go and spend a night in jail.
How was that night? What were you thinking about during that?
I was thinking about my family, my daughters, because I was on my way home to my family. I was worried. I didn't want their mom to think that I was killed or dead or something. I was worried about them. And I was also worried, like, are they going to kill me before I get to the jail?
Were you able to get a phone call in during that evening?
Yeah, so at that point in time, you can hear me on the tape screaming out my grandmother's cell phone number, because my grandma don't ever sleep. So if you're gonna call somebody, call my grandma. So my friends reached out to my grandma. She knew right away. They called my bail bondsman, who was also a former police officer. She was on it right away. My legal team and people in the community, they were on it right away. My bond was actually posted before I even got to the jail, but they wanted me to stay the night in there. They didn't release me until the next morning. They wanted to humiliate me. I had to go in there, sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was having a panic attack the whole time in there. Couldn't eat. It was just a very unkind place. The correctional, the officers in there are very rude. Like it's almost like they want you to stand there. They say things to you as you're leaving, to hope with the hopes that maybe you might say something bad.
What kind of things?
Just like, just like, get your shit and get the hell out of here, and this is one of the Joneses, stuff like that. It's like wow, just very rude, no compassion, no empathy. So once I got out, it was horrible.
I'm thinking that when you got out, now, do you have a case against you? You have a case then?
Yeah, I had a case, a criminal
What was
case.
the charge?
Well, this is interesting. They never got a warrant to arrest me. They got a probable cause affidavit, so they never got a warrant. The charges were battery on a Leo and resisting without violence.
When you say Leo, battery on
a law enforcement officer.
Okay.
But if you think about it, battery on a Leo and resisting without violence, those two don't go together. So immediately after I was arrested, the next day, the most heartwarming thing was seeing all my activists and organizers waiting outside the jail for me. That made me cry. That made me really cry, because I was like, wow, y'all all waited out here all night for me to get released, and it was beautiful. They drove me to Culver's. We had lunch, and then we immediately started planning. Immediately, I was contacted by Citizens Against Discrimination and Social Injustice, which is a nonprofit agency who was being run at the time by my mentor, the late great Bill Dumas. He passed away a couple years ago. He immediately started submitting FOIA requests. He immediately started getting body cams. He immediately started getting audio transmissions. And that's when the story started to become bigger than I ever thought it would be.